So next semester, I'm moving in with two of my best friends who jokingly refer to themselves as witches. Or at least I thought they were joking. As it turns out, both of them are pagan. Now, having been raised Christian, I automatically just went, devil worship? What is happening? This, however, is almost entirely inaccurate. In school, I learned about Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Hinduism, Confucianism, and even Buddhism. But I, like many of you, was surprised to learn that paganism is alive and thriving. So after discussing their religion with my roommates, I began to thoroughly research paganism. And through learning more about paganism's foundations, traditions, and rituals, we can really better understand its rise in modern times and our faith. So what exactly is paganism? Well, the Pagan Federation International defines paganism as a polytheistic or pantheistic nature-worshipping religion. This means that they have multiple gods, polytheistic, and pantheistic means that there can be multiple pantheons of gods. So for example, you could have Greek, Roman, Celtic, Prussian, Nordic, etc. Personally, my roommate Theo worships Hellenistic and Nordic gods. And they really do believe that the world is a diverse place, so they don't condemn other religions, hence there can be multiple pantheons. They see mythologies as just nature itself. They have a general respect for life in all forms and a desire to bring balance to the earth through our relationship with nature. Naturally, this means that they have a certain respect for nature, almost a veneration. They believe that the earth itself is sacred. And they also believe that male and female deities are essential. So, for example, Christianity only has a male deity. They believe that in order for the world to be in balance, there must be both the sacred masculine and the sacred feminine. This is also, funnily enough, the ancestral religion of humanity. So originally, humans did worship nature. That's what we lived off of. That's who we were. So it's only natural that we should worship that. So what are some of the practices of pagans? According to MacLeod, many Christian practices and symbols actually originated from pagan religions. And through these symbols, we can see kind of where our rituals intertwine with theirs. So according to historical records, Jesus Christ was actually born around September. Now this holiday we now know as Christmas is actually based on Saturnalia, which is a Roman pagan festival honoring Saturn, the god of agriculture. So this is one very big difference. Saturnalia actually became Christmas in order to ease the transition of Romans into Christianity. Just bring those holidays both together. And nuns, even in Christianity, originate in Vestas, who were women who worshipped Vesta, a goddess, and they had a lot of dignity and pride and power. However, nuns, on the contrary, have much less power and much less privilege. In fact, they're stripping that away for selflessness. But they both have the same idea of living only for that god. The pentagram, actually, which is a common symbol in modern-day media, was originally a pagan symbol of protection. So the sacred feminine, magic, and divine wisdom. And it was used primarily by Gnostic pagans celebrating Baphomet. Now, Baphomet is actually a goat-headed humanoid god. And this, both the pentagram and Baphomet, were demonized by the church and came to be common depictions of what we now call Satan in Christianity. And all of this helps further the Catholic Church growing in power as paganism fell in power. They also believe in magic, but not like Harry Potter kind of magic. They believe that magic is using otherworldly means to influence this world. So this can be such things as new brides in Rome long ago, anointing their home's doorposts with wolf's fat to keep away famine. So that's a ritual that could be used, communing with gods to use that power on this world. There also actually were some Norse war magic. So Norse Vikings would cast a magical war fetter on their opponents to paralyze them. And Anglo-Saxon scrolls actually contain spells said to bring healing and fertility. Now, how does all of this translate to modern rituals? Well, many of these rituals have stayed the same, but many have adapted. It's important to remember that paganism is really just an umbrella term for a whole lot of religions, so there's so many diverse rituals and methods of worship and traditions. But many pagans actually follow the 8 Sabbats, which are defined in the Wiccans' Wheel of the Year. Wiccans, it should be noted, are a sect of paganism, but also very separate. They have a few different beliefs. So the Wiccan Wheel of the Year has celebrations based on astrology and the shifting of the seasons and kind of those solstices. So, back to nature. Now, due to the overall diversity of pagan religions, as we said, there's a wide variety. So, actually, my friend Theo celebrates Yule. They celebrate solstices, and they do celebrate every full moon and perform rituals then. And this actually is a sect known as moon magic, which is known to be pretty powerful. Theo has, as I was told when sent pictures for our future dorm, Theo has some altars with candles and offerings, and these offerings can be items that you offer up to a god, or they can be practices. So Theo personally uses these offerings to live a healthier lifestyle. So like giving up junk food or taking meds daily, sacrificing some of their routine, or maybe jogging every day for a month, all in veneration of a god. Now, all that's well and good. But why exactly is paganism back on the rise? It supposedly died down quite a bit ago, so why is it popping back up? Why is it so popular again? So according to Simna in the Pagan Revival, Why It's a Nightmare for Christianity, actually tells us that paganism has been represented in media a whole lot throughout the years. So if you've ever watched Avatar: Last Airbender, Harry Potter, Percy Jackson, if you've ever watched or read the Da Vinci Code, or even if you've seen horror films, however accurate or inaccurate some of the depictions in these pieces of media might be, they are representations of paganism. So this has remained present throughout time. And nature is all around us, so that only makes sense. Now, another large reason is some new generation's disillusionment with large congregational established religions, right? So we're becoming much more liberal, and people, don't necessarily find that the church is for them, right? So we have a lot of atheists, but some of them still desire spiritual fulfillment, right? And coming under paganism, where there isn't necessarily one church who defines what you can and cannot do, really suits them, and they still have that spirituality and that belief, but it's much less stringent and freeing. And this is going back to the freedom of choice. They don't necessarily have gods who are telling them, you have to do this. So, in conclusion, while paganism is on the rise for the reasons I just outlined, there are several different beliefs and traditions all following under the umbrella of polytheistic, pantheistic, mostly nature-based pantheons of gods. Which is to say that paganism, just like any other established religion, is there and present, and it's rising. In fact, it's actually said that in the next few years, the amount of practicing pagans are going to surpass the amount of practicing Protestants in the world, which is quite incredible. And for the last several years, I've actually been struggling with my faith, so Christianity remains a struggle for me to this day. Learning more about paganism has really helped me redefine faith and what it can mean. While I don't believe that paganism is the answer for me personally, I hope that the information I've shared with you today can be a stepping stone and a helpful guide for others on their path to finding their own faith. Thank you.